Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got game number 2 now upon us. Gambit versus OG, the grand finals here, the Winter Madness, the WePlay sponsored event, and a $100,000 prize pool on the line. Right now, Gambit getting up 1-0 in these best-of-5 grand finals. I'm Breaky CPK, joined back by Draskyl once again, and bringing back in GoDz as well as BSJ. I'm sure you guys thought you probably had a little bit longer of a break there, but that game just happened so quickly. I mean, 18.5-minute victory. BSJ, the meepo worked.
Yeah, man, GoDz was a hater. He was a doubter. I mean, I expected if they were going to win that it would be fast, because that's exactly how, if Meepo beats Anti-Mage, how it goes. And Draskyl mentioned briefly during the game how hard it is to play Anti-Mage in that game. It's like, if you're behind against Meepo, the thing about, like, when you play these split-pushing farmers, your goal is to think, who threatens me on the map? Like, what lane are they playing? Like, what objective are they going for? So where does that allow me to farm? And the answer about Meepo is, well, he plays every lane. He can thread me in any lane, and he farms every lane. So I can't go anywhere. And then I just die, and I feed. So that's just the harsh reality of playing anti-mage against Meepo when you're that far behind, especially when you don't have any serious threat on Meepo. And that just leads to you losing in 18 minutes.
GoDz, this is a different draft so far. Anti-Mage into the Medusa.
Yeah, look, taking off my OG tinted glasses, we're gonna, Gambit, they're the real deal. They've had incredible day. They 2-0'd NIP. They take game 1 off OG. Definitely a team that's kind of come out of nowhere, bringing in FNG as a new captain, and they've got some great ideas about drafting. And like that 10th pick Meepo was just so incredibly powerful. This Medusa Coddle duo that they've run numerous times has been very effective. OG immediately respond with an anti-mage, and you're not really as scared of a Meepo because Meepo plus Medusa much less likely come out. You can also just ban the Meepo. This anti-mage pick feels pretty solid right now.
I just want to say I watched Daxx, or however you pronounce his name. I watched his perspective all last game, and like, because he's like this micro player on like these Visages and Meepos, and I was just so impressed by like his Meepo play. Like, he's actually just always had separate Meepos, like always kind of, you could tell he knew what OG was doing, so he was always ready to like poof away. He like left one Meepo top waiting for the anti-mage to show up, and then immediately throws the net and poofs the other ones in. Like, just a very, very good player. I was very impressed and just wanted to comment on the shout out to how well he played that game.
Yeah.
Even though it was a good game for Meepo.
But now he's got an even harder hero to play in Medusa. Very high skill cap.
Rough.
Micro intensive. That mana shield. No, yeah, it's a bit smoother of a ride for him this time around, although it is against an anti-mage. So, again, Draskyl, the fact that they picked up, we've seen them do this Medusa Coddle before, but again, into an AM, it makes it it's a bit of a difficult task.
Yeah, I mean, I think that as well, but Gambit have shown that they're actually pretty good against it. So obviously, when you open up with the Medusa, you're just going to assume you're going to see heroes like Anti-Mage, PL, stuff like that, right? So you obviously have a game plan to deal with it. And the more that I see Gambit play, the more, like, the traditional things that I think about in my mind, like hero matchups, just don't really apply to this team a lot of the time for some reason. So whatever happens, in the draft and the next 3 heroes for them, I'm sure will kind of supplement whatever issue they could be having with that hero.
Do they pick Troll on Gambit? Like, have they picked Troll with Medusa before?
I'm sure they play it. I think it was banned last game, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious, thinking about heroes that are good against AM.
They've normally done Monkey King with the Medusa, looking at their past Call of Medusa games.
Oh, yeah. Backline team fight.
They've had, 2 Monkey Kings with it, and then one game they had a tiny Axe Tide Hunter with it.
Oh.
Not a sold on that.
All you think about is, like, when I think of Medusa, like, what her role is, she stands in front and hits people, and the only way to beat her is to focus her. So Gambit does that really well by, like, when I say, it's like Axe, Tiny, and Tide. It's like, when you go on the Medusa, that's a yikes. Same with when you have the Monkey King hero. So it's like, that's his ultimate, just serves as a nice counter initiation. Yeah. And I remember watching this game. This was the lineup that they lost with Megas, right? On Gambit. They got Megas with Medusa against Anti-Mage and then lost.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so either way, like, I thought they had no chance of winning that game because they were behind with Medusa against Anti-Mage, and then they like made the game look like they were 100% going to win, and they just know a lot about this hero, so very looking forward to seeing them play it again.
We'll see what those frontliners are going to be who can kind of protect the Medusa. I think like the Tide Monkey Kings are the 2 that kind of stand out. Tiny is banned out.
And we got a
Ooh.
Elder Titan. Third pick. Another
That's
change.
counter initiation.
So you think that's
It's
why?
counter initiation. It's like a 50-50 AM matchup, I feel, because it's quite hard to stomp anti-mage reliably, but at the same time, if you ever get caught in a fight and you're next to the Elder Titan, you're basically just butter. So it's something that I feel like helps the Medusa in the anti-mage matchup, because if the Elder Titan in the team fight is just kind of nearby, the anti-mage doesn't really want to blink into that hero, I feel. It's annoying for him.
So, and a side note here, there's a couple of heroes that come to mind for me where the theme of Gambit Esports lineup, no matter what heroes it is, it's just that tanky death ball, as I keep going back to, the strategy of you're just bulking up, hard to kill. Heroes that come to mind to help with that, Ancient Apparitions 1 with the Ice Blast, and, to prevent these heals from being effective, but then Necrophos is another hero too that, for the heavy burst, you get them low enough. Either of those sound appealing?
The first one maybe a little more so. And I think Necro is a dead hero right now. And I don't like Necro versus Medusa because Medusa's health pool doesn't get that low ever. Because of Mana Shield, you're normally, until you burn through Medusa's mana, the health doesn't start to drop. So the Necro ulti doesn't really do a whole lot. I also just don't think Necro is very playable.
Or Nyx Assassin. Seen him a couple
Mana
times.
burn
Very
is
good
real.
against Elder Titan and the Medusa.
Yeah.
It's so easy to carapace on the Elder Titan, mess up his combo. Obviously, Mana Burn is great against the Medusa. Also good. It actually destroys all three other heroes. Just very good hero. The only weakness of Nyx is his laning phase. Just doesn't really do much. He's got good regen. His damage is really low though. So he's got armor and regen, but he can't really CS that well if he is going to be played as some kind of hero that's allocated farm. But it might just be a 4 or 5.
This is actually a really good DK game. I think all the heroes that counter DK are pretty bad against the rest of Gambit's lineup. They might be still willing to pick something like OD just to deal with this DK, but we've seen it where this DK has a really rough start. Gambit does this and put him in a side lane, and yet he still has pretty big impact on the game. And they have very limited damage for him right now. Nyx does nothing to you. Anti-Mage is all physical, and so is Dazzle. So as of now, they have to respond to this pick.
Remember, now Nyx does have the break effect on his Vendetta. And
This is true. I forgot about that. This is true.
There's a little bit there. I was looking at that with this new Nyx stats that we're seeing every now and then. And normally, we really haven't seen the break effect impact too much. But yeah, DK picking into it. Don't have to worry about that. 20 seconds. OG.
How long does the break last? On
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's 4, yeah.
Okay, so I was just curious. That's something I definitely have not seen come into play as of yet.
Ooh, OG Classic. Arc Warden. Against Medusa, just have those bubbles. Medusa does not deal well with Arc Warden, with the kinetic fields and just, getting the flux can be really annoying. This is a pretty tricky hero that Gambit's going to have to address with their last pick.
Anti-Mage Arc Warden. It's it makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Because he usually plays more mid-game focused. I wonder if he'll opt to skip the Midas after the Necro book, just because he has an Anti-Mage, but...
So last time he played it, he went Midas first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He went Midas
did he
Maelstrom.
really?
He did not go
Yeah.
Necro yesterday, yeah. And on that note, too, but they also ran it with a Phantom Lancer. So similarly, you kind of chuckle at that, BSJ.
But against...
Yeah,
Sorry, I was going to say, against Medusa, you might go Necro anyway, just because it's so good against that hero.
that's a good point, yeah.
Apparently, I missed the important series yesterday. That was the one I didn't watch. But
It's against
the
No Pango.
PL Arc Warden, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. I think they realize they can get away with it because I can't remember what they were against that game, but I think it was similar to this where it's there's a Medusa on the other side. They're not going to be playing super
It's
fast.
Terrorblade. I'm looking at it right here.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they're going to hit this maybe 20-minute timing where they can kind of 5-man with a Medusa, but at least your Arc Warden will have time to come online, get a Midas plus maybe Maelstrom before that 5-man Death Bowl gets rolling.
Interesting. The Meepo does get banned. Honestly, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It could be the hero that you just put the Medusa safe lane and have that speed up the tempo of the game. I wonder, you guys, what you said is a really good point. The fact that they have all this space in the world because Gambit kind of lacks aggression. But I feel even with Gambit picking Medusa, that doesn't mean they're going to play slow. The other three heroes can be very high tempo, and that, oh, wow.
Well,
That is a high tempo.
Oh, I love these Gambit drafts. They're a lot of fun to watch how they kind of treat this patch right now. They seem to be catching a lot of teams by surprise.
That is a really good pick again. Yeah, I agree. very good against Arc Warden, very fast tempoed for Anti-Mage to deal with. Like Anti-Mage, yes, scales well against Lycan, but it's the same idea as the Meepo in regards to the fact that it just speeds up the pace of the game and kills all your buildings, takes Roche. I wonder what the Lycan build now is. Like, do you still go Helmdom or do you go Vlad's? Like,
I assume Vlad's. I've not seen a Lycan in this patch though, personally, so I can't say for sure.
I mean, he's better just by nature of how the game is played. Even if they didn't touch the hero at all, it's a fast-paced hero that hits buildings, and buildings are very weak right now. So I would expect Vlad's too, honestly. Maybe like Vlad's Necro instead of the Helm. I'm unsure, but we'll see, I guess.
Again, the hero did get that change to how his Howl works now, where it actually grants the attack speed and the armor and HP regen instead of the straight-up health before. So it seems like that's just going to be a nice steroid for the team, and the Gambit likes a death ball push. I use that term again. What a perfect hero for Lycan to fit in to a strategy.
There's like actually nothing really on OG that threatens the Lycan either.
agreed.
Like, I guess the scariest thing is like getting vendetted and like maybe blinked on by the Am or something like that. But other than
They have
that,
so much ways to protect him with the Coddle and the ET. So
Yeah.
like, even if they try to stun the Lycan, I feel like they're gonna find themselves running away from Lycan this entire game. Dazzle, Grimstroke, no way to protect themselves. Like even Arc Warden has no way to protect himself. I mean, I'm going hard with Gambit again, man. They've looked so good all tournament, and this last pick is like, in my mind, the perfect pick again. So I'm going with their draft again.
I think I'm seeing the Gambit light as well, or at least starting to. I like how, this AM comes out, and then rather than just like sticking with their typical draft, trying to protect the Medusa, getting these like tides and things which aren't amazing against AM, they pick two cores who just aren't afraid of AM. DK, Lycan, fast pace, going to run at the AM, going to run at towers. They're going to just, I think, plow through OG this game potentially.
Well, we're going to find out here shortly. Of course, coming up with Gambit up 1-0 in the series, and you look at the odds. Those are the series odds, I'm pretty sure. So it's still favoring OG despite being down 1-0 in this best of 5 series, but very, very, very close. And it's hard to. Or it's easy to understand that kinda, because obviously we are talking about OG right here, standing or not. LTW's already proven that he's a good player, but man, Gambit's momentum looking good. If you want to place a bet on set odds, you go head over to es.bet and do so currently right now. But as far as this game is concerned, Draskyl, I mean, you like the finish of the draft, so you're leaning towards Gambit as well?
I can't say no to a 10th pick Lycan, man. So the heroes on the side of OG. Like, AM doesn't like being ran at in the early game. Like, he wants his Battle Fury Manta at least. Arc Warden's pretty much the same. You don't have a good way to stop Lycan from just munching your cores. Like, even if you grave them, it's just delaying the inevitable. There's no burst damage on the side of OG to really threaten the Lycan. That's typically how you deal with him. You either have a lot of stuns, or you have really high bursts so that he can't just run around freely and shapeshift and just hit people. But OG don't have any of that. They don't have ways to really stop him besides like a Soulbind. So that'll be like the one reliable method. If the Nyx lands a stun, that's great, but it's just a stopgap in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with the other two when they said that they like Gambit's draft.
Yeah, we kind of overlooked that a little bit because just so caught up with the Lycan. But Grimstroke, the final pick for OG, of course, going that support option with No-Tail. He's playing it here and down here at the bottom lane with Nyx Assassin, so it's going to set up to be an aggressive tri-lane with the Anti-Mage right now matched up against the Coddle Medusa, as Lycan is middle lane. Okay. FNG, he swells up if he gets hit by that, but it looks like he makes his way through the trees. He's going to very fast here at level 1, 337 move speed. He gets away, he'll be fine, but yeah, Lycan mid.
It's a fine matchup for him. The thing about Arc Warden is that his laning isn't super strong by any means, and if you can summon wolves and stuff, you can always stop him from dealing damage with, I think it's called Flux, the one that like makes you take damage and are slowed if you walk away from your own units. So it should be fine for him, honestly. You get a couple of points into your Feral Impulse, you get the regen going, he'll be good.
Yeah, I'm actually really intrigued to see how he builds, because as I just talking about, especially with the Howl change, could you see him actually putting points into that Howl earlier on, or is this still going to be more the Impulse Wolves and then Howl will come later?
I think it's usually the Howl comes later. Again, it's based on the game, so if they're like pushing early and they feel like they can take a tower, maybe he gets it, because he should get a fair amount of EXP as he is in the mid lane. So maybe he feels like it's worth value pointing, but he's going to need the regen from Feral Impulse if he wants to stay in a lane. And as it stands right now, it does look like he's going to be going for the standard helm. At the very least, it's either going to be that or Vlad's, because you want the regen item build up so you can sustain against the Arc Ward and Harass in the early game. But as soon as he gets to like 5, for example, even if the lane becomes too difficult to sustain, he can just jungle.
Yeah. All right, so Thompson, though, 5-0 on that Arc Ward. But right now, Lycan 8-1. I had that creep wave push. Took advantage of that. Top lane, you got DK versus the Dazzle. Another core Dazzle once again. Guessing that's Seb up there playing it. So going from the Omni Knight to the Dazzle. Dazzle we definitely expect a bit more out of right now as far as what he can do. But going to get some decent farm and trying his best to harass Alpha9 in the lane. Is Alpha back-to-back games we're seeing him. He's typically their mid player, yet he's finding himself in more of the side lane instead. Quite interesting.
I think it's a hero comfortability thing. Maybe he just doesn't really play like it much. Is he gonna die here? Yeah, he got his poison touch stacked up way too many times. Yeah, Seb just got like 4 or 5 extra autos on him. There was at one point where I think he had like a second left on the debuff, and he just accidentally walked in the vision and got a refresh. As soon as that happens, he's kind of in trouble. So kills a kill. He walks back to lane with full HP. See if he can manage to get a little bit more. The bigger story for me is this Medusa is getting crushed. 5 CS versus 16 and 10 of the anti-mage. That's a yikes.
Yeah, that's the laning phase one thing, but especially again later on, AM is expected to do very well here. So the fact that Medusa is off to that slow start, a little bit concerning for Gambit perhaps. And you know, we're so used to seeing Gambit do this grouping up and pushing strategy. They have a Lycan involved as well as a DK to push objectives. How do you expect to see Medusa build here? Will she kind of change things up a bit? I mean, I'm trying to maybe like a Mask of Madness just for earlier aggression, or?
Well, she's probably going to go for more of a farming route, I would imagine, because her laning phase is going so bad. So at some point, Gambit are going to start like roaming around as their 4. Maybe they wait for Afterlife to get shapeshift and stuff, and then start to make some moves with that. Maybe even the Lycan ganks. I know it's pretty weird to say, but there needs to be something, like some kind of pressure being exuded on the map by the side of Gambit if they ever want the Hawk to get some items here.
JerAx is probably dead. Stink? Yep, he is dead. He's only level 1 still, by the way. I was expecting the spike carapace, but he would impale level 1 and, well, try to get that other ability if you can't level up. So
yeah, you don't want to soak too much EXP from the AM. He's not like the most level dependent hero, but it is nice to have like max blink, a couple points in your spell shield and stuff, so you can get around the jungle and farm efficiently. But as it stands right now, OG is still doing fine in the laning phase. Mid's pretty even. Lycan's got a couple of CS advantage, but it's expected. The hero has very high base damage and is also a Quelling Blade buyer.
Yeah, they're just trying to farm off to the side with the jungle pull, so some funky interaction happening here. ILTW, the Inkswell's applied. He's going to jump on Immersion. And the Elder Titan, he has a salve if he can get far enough. It looks like he is. He'll pop that, survive, and be just fine. Mystic Snake throwing in there from Dahak and trying to assist with some CS. So back and forth battle over in the jungle, but you look at that CS, again, Anti-Mage is still absolutely dominating at that bottom lane. But Lycan is going the helm with the Dominator. So again, more typical or what we used to see at least. Just with the Vlads and how the value of that item lately, almost did expect that, but likes the helm with the Dom.
Yeah, the creep is just too powerful, because it obviously gains the benefit of being incredibly fast when you have the shapeshift on and stuff. You get the attack speed, immersion, getting the stun, getting blinked on with the Inkswell. Easy kill.
He was hoping to get the rune spawn at the last second, but there's that rotation. Afterlife, he comes in and takes out No-Tell. He's going to go pick up the other bounty rune as well. He happens to be here. He also has a shapeshift, but not coming into play there. He's going to walk back mid. Top?
Yeah, it's quite hard to kill the anti-mage.
Seb's fine.
A little stomp, just trying to make something happen, because as it stands right now, sitting in that bot lane is not really doing them any favors. The Medusa's recovering a bit, but still a fairly substantial lead. I think that, okay, Gambit got 3 bounties, right?
They did.
They missed the bot one, but they got the top one in the bottom, and then, yeah, okay, they got the top 2 as well. So that's 3. Nice for them. But I still think they're okay as okay. If they lose Lycan, that could be tough.
He's not an easy kill. Feral Impulse, headdress, so he's got some good
Nice
regen.
stomp.
And yeah,
Very
the
nice.
stomp helping things out as well. 3-man stomp, I believe. JerAx running away. Immersion with that briefcase, whacking him down, and needs one more. JerAx hits the impale, though. Is he still going to go after it? That's risky. However, the Arcane Rune's going to be picked up by No-Tell behind him, and now Immersion could be in trouble. Although I believe he's too far now. Stark of Fate even going to miss, and guarantees his getaway. So yeah, close call, but that was 3 heroes coming together in the mid lane on Lycan, and they could not finish him. Too bulky.
This game is really odd because you look at the both drafts, and there's like a Lycan and a Medusa and a DK on one team, and then there's an Arc Ward and an Anti-Mage on the other. So it's kind of like tri-core versus dual core. But a lot of it is dependent on like how fast the game is being played in regards to does AM have his Manta Battle Fury at like 22, 23 minutes or something. If that's the case, then you would definitely give the advantage to OG. But I don't really see that happening because the Lycan has tons of farm and he's going to start taking down towers. He's got his Dom even at this point. He's got the Alpha Wolf. So at this point, this guy is already like a huge threat on the map, and he's going to have 2 other cores farming whenever he's pressuring.
Thompson just going to spawn the Tempest double to simply try to keep this push from happening as much as possible, and it will thwart him off. So that was well played by Thompson there, as he leaves to go to the jungle himself and maybe pop a shrine eventually. But yeah, you see the Alpha Wolf control from Lycan, so enhancing his damage quite a bit. Alpha9's top lane, he's fine. He dodges that Impale. Obviously, go back to whenever we see a miss on the Nyx Assassin Impale. It's a tough ability to land sometimes, so just didn't have the angle too far away. And DK will survive, but DK's not getting much farm up here. So that's the good news for OG. And also good news is the Arc Warden's doing great. We haven't talked too much about Thompson yet, but he is farming very well, top farm in the game right now.
Yeah, a lot of it's due to the fact that Afterlife has walked bot for the 5-minute bounties, and now he's going towards top lane. They probably just want to secure the tower at some point. He does still have the shapeshift available. The other thing too is they can give the lane to Medusa if they want the Hawk to be able to walk between ancients and stuff and try to recover his farm.
LTW.
Quite low on mana here.
Very low on mana. Doesn't have mana himself though for Mana Void. I guess he's not even level 6 anyways. But either way, the Inkswell explodes and they kill Medusa. Thompson picks up an Invis rune, and you see the quad Wraithband on him, and he is going the Hand of Midas as far as that first item pickup.
Top lane as well, they found Jerax. Nice spike carapace. Circufade should keep him safe for now. But this is a DK ult form Lycan push, so they're really trying to get the tower as fast as they can. They're going to lose Immersion perhaps for this. Yep, Spark Wraith gets the kill.
A lot of damage.
A lot of movement now that people have their ultimates.
Yeah, and speaking of that, the shapeshift, it's one of those, usually you would expect almost a Lycan to, he hits level 6 especially, he can start moving around. I mean, he was in the mid lane though, so not as likely to do that, but he hasn't used his shapeshift yet, and here he is level 8. I mean, pushing a tower is great, but seems like using that ability almost off cooldown is high value.
It's nice if it actually results in a kill, but if you think about it, you don't really need to hit shapeshift to just hit a building. And if OG are going to freely give you the safe lane tier 1, there's not really much of a point to commit it. So if you can ult and kill a core, that's nice. But it's quite hard to kill the Arc Warden right now because, like you said, he's got the quad Wraithband, he's got treads. He's sitting in mid, which is a very easy tower to react to in terms of ganks. So the only time he's really going to use that ability is if a fight really kicks off that he wants to be a part of, or if he's just simply running away. Otherwise, you're popping it to kill a support, and that doesn't really seem that good for him in this situation. He's not being pressured. He's sitting top right now by himself, just freely hitting creeps. So there's not really much emphasis on him popping it on CD at the moment.
Dahak, you are dead. Just the whole manning up in the first place seemed really odd to me right there. I suppose he just figured he wasn't getting away.
Yeah, he couldn't run from that. It was the Tempest double being used, double Flux, Spark Wraith. He knew he was dead no matter what happened. He probably just bought some items before he died.
Yeah, the Mana Void completing the job, but I was just about to say Medusa was up there on the network track. She's going in a little bit, but again, overall, it's a very even spread. Don't take it too much. 10-minute bounty runes up here. A bit of a fight. Afterlife, we are going to see the shapeshift activated, chasing after Seb, trying to block the best he can, running close. There's not much you can do about this with the right-click damage. Afterlife is low, but missing the Impale stun, and he will serve. Oh, that poison touch.
Nope.
Never mind.
Yeah, he's dead. Lycan doesn't have a lot of armor, so when you're walking in and stuff and you get the bad juju stacks on you and you have the poison touch, you actually take a tremendous amount of damage. So even through the Helm of the Dominator regen, you couldn't live.
Yeah. Jeez, that's something. And that shapeshift cooldown and everything. So again, getting the kill feels good, but yeah, I don't know how many heroes especially have to do that to chase down Dazzle. Probably not worth it in the end, but either way, happened. And Anti-Mage has found some room at the bottom lane to push all the way to the tower before falling back. He's got a Ring of Hell, so the Battle Fury well in the works now for our Anti-Mage. Mid lane push, that's what it looks like we're going to see next. Lycan and DK coming together. Again, these two heroes specifically, when they want to push a tower, they could do so, although the bubble is a bit annoying.
Yeah, they can't even hit the tower. They might just die for this.
Poison touches out. Seb, he's running in with the Ink Swell. It connects on to Afterlife. Here comes the Echo Stomp, though. Immersion, he's not level 6, so it's no Earth Splitter coming out. Afterlife, he's still ticking down. The Poison Touch is still on him. I think he's dead again. It's just so strong, man. This core Dazzle's doing work.
2 base armor, boys. When Lycan says wolves need no armor, he's actually lying to you. That's just incorrect. That hero benefits greatly from having armor. But yeah, the core Dazzle is actually just completely crushing this Lycan right now. And then the shapeshift was down, obviously, because they used it to kill Seb when they walked to the shrine. Maybe a bit greedy to walk that far forward, especially knowing that Thompson's going to be nearby, being able to drop the magnetic field on the tower and stuff to stop the DK from hitting it. Because that's basically what they've done, is every time Elder Dragon forms up, you know, Afterlife pops it right away, walks to a tower, tries to get some damage, and OG are like, nope, we're going to defend our mid support.
OG is going to go for a dive here. I think they're originally going for Medusa, but they just happened to run into Coddle, who's looking to spam that Illuminate. Could not get away at that point, so easy kill on him. Going to be the tower kill. You also saw the odds popping up on your screen. Again, this game favoring OG, and with the way things are looking right now, not surprised by that. Head over to ES.bet to take advantage of said odds if you like them, and place your bet yourselves. But bottom lane, DK, F9, again, we really haven't seen much impact out of him. He has the early phase bits, 1 bracer, and he's trying to build that Blink Dagger, but DK hasn't been able to do a whole lot outside of maybe the Elder Dragon farm to push some towers. But Seb middle lane, doesn't have Shallow Grave yet, by the way. Although Afterlife, yeah, he has to be worried once again. But he will help set up the kill this time on a Dazzle.
He's like, please, God, don't poison touch me. That's the one thing that you can't do right now. He's got 2 base armor. It's literally nothing. It's one cast of any spell from Dazzle, and his armor is pretty much in the negative or something like that. So it's rough.
I wonder if he's regretting not going to Vlad's now, because that would help with that, obviously.
I mean, having the creep is still very beneficial just from the aspect of how Lycan functions. Just having that creep allows your shapeshift to be that much more potent, and your push. They're going to find the F in here.
Soulbind, double silence. F9, they kill off the Phantom Embrace. However, FNG cannot get away. Did he buy time for DK? LTW in pursuit. Has a Mana Void. Counterspell wears off there. Mana Void would be the most damage right now, so not using it. Going to get hit by the Echo Stomp. Immersion doing what he can. Going to keep them away. The Spark Wraith, though, is going to connect, but again, Dragonite just too tanky. Manages to make it out of there. Thompson's going to keep the push going, however. What does he have currently? The Hanamitis, another 1,200 gold saved up, and nothing queued up. So, again, yesterday he didn't go the Necro, but in this match we're talking about against the Medusa, maybe it does make sense as, oh, guess what? Afterlife dies again to Seb.
That seems to be a recurring theme this game. Also, at that time, though, it looked like the Nyx was there to help as well, so it wasn't just like another solo kill. But, you know, Seb has his own book. So if Thompson decides that he wants to go for more of like a different build, maybe he wants to skip the Necro, I think it's still fine. And like usually, at least in the past, I don't know if it's still the same for Arc Warden players, but if you were buying Midas, you wouldn't buy Book. You would just buy Book because it acts as your Midas.
Yeah.
You would use it to farm creeps and stuff and kill Ancients. And it was very, very value. But I guess Thompson felt like having the multiple Wraith bands is better. It helps for when you're getting like ran at and stuff by Lycan. Afterlife really hasn't been able to do that much. So it's looking pretty tough at the moment for Gambit, honestly. Like, it's a 5k lead. 15-minute bounty runes are going to be popping here in about 10 seconds. And I honestly, like, this Lycan isn't doing enough on the map. He was supposed to be the guy,
yeah,
I guess, with the DK who was going around hitting towers, being like, okay, we're forcing something happening here, and OG has to react. But it's kind of been the opposite. OG have been the ones, barring like that one little skirmish in the woods where Seb ends up trading his life for the Lycan, that they're the ones doing stuff.
They are making their way bottom, but yeah, the fact that they only have 1 tower kill at 15 minutes with this lineup is not good news for Gambit, but they are going to go for the bottom one, and they should easily take this out. See, this is more like it. This is that huge army that we kind of expect. I mean, Necronomicon being finished on Lycan helps too. They're going to rotate to the mid lane. They see Thompson. He's kind of pushing it. Coddle's in the area. Lycan Shapeshift is ready to go. And a clash definitely happening right here. Shapeshift activated. Soulbind FNG right now only hitting him. Out comes a Will-O-Wisp, and they kill Grimstroke. A lot used right there, but they make sure to get that one out. Can they get Thompson? It looks like it. Earth Splitter coming down as well. Thompson spawns the Tempest double. Oh, the Shadow Grave at the last second. I don't think that's going to mean too much, though. Just maybe a little bit of damage from him, but ultimately it will be a kill. Stone Gaze activated from Dahak from any supports coming in. Buyback even on Grimstroke there, so that's more like it from Gambit. Coming together, you do see what they can make happen.
Yeah, that's the whole shapeshift into the Arc Warden thing. And like we talked about in the very beginning of the game, even if you grave him, it doesn't stop it. Like it delays, and during that delay, if you can get a kill in the process, that's great. Nice little blank stun here from Affinage. He's going to get the kill on a Jerax. So yeah, overall, that was probably the best series of events that's happened so far for Gambit, is when their heroes actually grouped up. And it's strange because, you know, it's a Medusa, like in a DK, not these heroes that you would traditionally say, yeah, their team fight's going to be pretty good. But it's more just how the Lycan functions against Thompson in particular that makes it so difficult for him to just be in the fight. Because there's no save. There's no save for getting ran at this game.
Now, you do look at the big picture, and again, Anti-Mage, he's jumping up the net worth chart. I believe he does have that Battle Fury now finished, so not surprisingly seeing him starting to move up. So it kind of feels similar to the previous series for Gambit against NIP. Remember in that game 1 where they were behind in that 5 to 10K range. You never really counted them out yet because we started to see the evolution of that grouping up. The auras that came in, and eventually they were pushed. Now, this game is a bit different, though, at the same time, to be fair. You are dealing with an Anti-Mage and an Arc Warden that are both getting very good farm. So, not to say we're going to have the same outcome, but at least Gambit has that going for them where they've shown that they can come back before.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're running a Tricore with an Elder Titan. There's definitely a chance for a comeback. OG, though, going in for the fight.
That's a big soulbind there. Afterlife, no chance in this fight. Meanwhile, DK, though, he gets a pick on a Nyx Assassin in the back lane, and maybe he does. ILTW goes down as well. ILTW overextended in lane 18, so they lose Lycan, but it's coming at a massive cost for OG so far. Seb, again, shallow grave, but that's just delaying the inevitable at this point. Dragon Tail connects. The thwack of the auto attack from Immersion. F9's credit for the kill, picks up the double, and he wants more damage. This Blink Dagger has been so good for the DK. Seen it coming to play multiple times, and now he's going to find Thompson. Thompson wanted to defend this tower, hanging around a little bit too long. Out comes a Will-O-Wisp, and they're going to lose the Arc Warden on top of this as well. It's getting worse and worse for OG, and that should be an easy tower kill to finish it all up, and we were just talking about this, Draskyl. Do not count them out.
Their chase is actually pretty good. I mean, obviously Lycan wasn't alive there. Afterlife didn't even get a chance to use his shapeshift during that fight, but the Blink DK and the Elder Titan combination, like any hero can catch up. All it takes is like one Blink stun, there's going to be a stomp to follow it every single time, and again, no saves. Like, if the Dazzle is dead, there's no grave, and Seb was one of the first people to die in that team fight. I think LTW like blinked forward aggressively, and like I mentioned earlier, playing Anti-Mage against Elder Titan is really hard because if you blink into him, you lose all your armor, and you're against a Lycan already, so it makes it very difficult for the Anti-Mage to function unless like that hero needs to be taken care of by someone else, or he needs to be, you know, not present in the fight.
Jerax have not seen a lot of impact from the Nyx Assassin, frankly, yet. He's going to get vision for OG, sitting on top of the other Titan, but other than that, that's all it's going to be at this point. We'll go back into his own jungle. We talked about DK having that Blink Dagger impact. Now he's built a Shadow Blade to go with it, so they have that online now. Or, yeah, it's just a matter of being delivered. The Yasha Kaya finished on Medusa, and she has a Butterfly now queued up for her next item. So we are starting to see these bulkier, we're ready to fight items coming out on the side of Gambit now. And you kind of take a look back at Anti-Mage. Is there an item that you think makes sense? Does he need the BKB as soon as possible this game, or what direction will he go?
I mean, BKB doesn't really help solve the issue of like the Lycan, the Medusa going for this more right-click heavy build and stuff like that. You're still going to have a problem. I mean, traditionally, like back when you see a lot more Elder Titan, you want like Vlads and AC and stuff like that on your team, and Jesus, Jerax just freaking explodes. Bounty Rune contesting here in the top lane.
Yeah.
Looks like Gambit will be successful in securing those two at least. But yeah, it's hard to itemize an Anti-Mage's game because you don't really want to buy BKB against Lycan, heavy right-click team, Elder Titan, stuff like that. The aura is just going to murder you. So, I don't know. I don't envy LTW's position. Like, even though his farm is fine, it's tough to survive the fight.
Camera, no! We're missing a kill! DK, I saw him jump in and chasing after somebody. Either way, where they're doing Roshan, as we can see. Get this cool cinematic view. And the comeback.
At least we got to watch Roshan die, right?
Got to see the
Christmas.
Christmas.
That's a good kill.
Yeah, well, it was just Grimstroke in the end, but still. Oh, Will-O-Wisp not going to work there to stop the TP out. Very close call. I don't think Will-O-Wisp is the longest cooldown, though, so she'll be back.
That's not too bad, and especially since they just got Roshan anyway. they don't really have to worry about like OG going for some team fight. They picked off the Grimstroke. They should be able to just freely push lanes. They can play it, however they want. Again, it's Tricore. So a DK still eventually does scale in terms of damage as well. He's not known as like being this crazy right clicker, but it only takes like 1 or 2 items, and you just live so long in the fight that you eventually will start to hurt. And then you obviously have your Medusa to back you up and a Lycan on top of that. So like Gambit had no issue whatsoever going late game. A lot of the time you'd say a Medusa lineup doesn't really want to play against Arc Warden because Magnetic Field is really frustrating for you. But you have other heroes that can supplement your getting in close by getting like Echo Stomps and stuff, or the Lycan can just run into the bubble himself.
And on that note, I feel like Thompson needs to just get beefier because he went a full Mjolnir as his follow-up to the Hand of Midas. This is a glass cannon right-click build, and we're just finished mentioning how the DK and Lycan both are heroes that can get in your face quickly and make your life difficult. So I'm sure he's going to progress towards something that'll help with that issue. But right now, he will continue to be a very, very fragile target on the stairs.
Yeah, but you have to think of it from both sides, right? Because if he goes for like a pike or he goes for some item that's going to like protect himself, how is he ever going to do enough damage to kill 3 cores? Like,
true.
It's one of those things where it accelerates his farm. He needs to cut through a DK, a Lycan, and a freaking Medusa. Obviously, he's going to have the help of LTW's Anti-Mage to do that a bit. But if he itemizes too defensively, the game will just be impossible because they won't be able to kill anyone.
Keep an eye and see what he goes for next after the Mjolnir's finished. See, DK even has a BKB. That's queued up at least, so looking to build into that. Anti-Mage middle lane. Noticing he is being collapsed on. He is able to blink away, it looks like, doing the minimap cast in there. Not enough lock.
This is one thing we haven't really spoke too much about, but the actual catch from Gambit is pretty bad. So you can see, like, LTW is playing the map. He's cutting between the tier 2 and the tier 3. He's going to make his way towards top even. The only catch they have for him is the DK. So if he knows where the DK is or he has some idea, most of the time he can play super aggressive. He's even pinging out on the minimap right now. He's like, yeah, they are all running at me right now. And that's why the DK goes like this Blink Shadow Blade, because he needs to be the one to catch this guy.
Look at Coddle as well, how fast he is. Trying to get close enough. 453 movement speed, jeez. Running up there, they do catch up to Grimstroke, so I think it's somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's something, but like LTW is going to have a pretty nice time playing out on the map.
Bottom lane, Medusa. By herself currently is near tower, though, so if they start to go aggressive on her, then could TP. Remember, she has an Aegis as well, so yeah, Seb diving like he is. Very curious decision right there. And in fact, the Will-O-Wisp going to pull him right back in. Glimmer Cape out for the time being. Air Splitter, they want Thompson, and beelining for his afterlife. Thompson, can he TP out in time? Absolutely not. He is dead. Seb managing to survive for the time being. Getting back, Anti-Mage coming in as well. Mana Void could set up to Hawk. No, he's not going to use it just yet, keeping his distance. Remember, he has the Aegis, so he doesn't want to go for it. Dazzle gets picked up in the meanwhile, and LTW is like, all right, what's the point? Just blinks out. Another kind of scattered fight for OG. Wasn't really the prime coordination there.
I think he wanted FNG to walk closer to the Medusa. Like, he was looking like he wanted to Mana Void there, but if he does it, it's just an Aegis. I suppose, when push comes to shove, it's probably fine to just get the Aegis off of him, but I think he wanted the kill on the Coddle as well. So just maybe being a little bit greedy. He'll be able to just continue to farm, but yeah, they lose Seb, they lose Thompson. It's still looking like Gambit have a really good shot in this game.
I take you back to the previous series. It does feel so similar to how it was in that game 1 against NIP. They have not had the lead yet, as we're 25 minutes into the game, but you still feel like Gambit is in a pretty decent spot considering how things are shaping up. So OG, they have Thompson, continue to farm very well. Haven't got an eye on his next item just yet, but will soon. As also ILTW, same story there. We keep looking back at DK's got that BKB almost finished. And yet another tool that he's going to take advantage of, jumping in and being able to use that, make him feel pretty safe when it comes to the
So in regards to items, LTW is apparently going Scotty right now, and then Thompson is going for the Pike. So he is going for an item that's going to allow him to survive a little bit, but he does have his damage item already. The difference between going like Mjolnir Pike instead of Pike Mjolnir is that it takes so much longer to get to the Mjolnir if you only have a Hurricane Pike than vice versa. So you really want to try to get that item that's going to just accelerate you even more in these types of games, especially when they're so fast-paced.
Nyx Assassin, gotta say, obviously all the respect in the world for JerAx, but this game is not one of his better ones. He is just having very low impact.
God.
And oh, they caught TW. Yeah, Will-O-Wisp. Nyx Assassin is here to try to maybe help him a bit, but it just doesn't matter. He melts away, and all that Nyx does is gives him another target to kill in the process. And that's a dead anti-mage for 65 seconds. He just got the BKB delivered on DK, and here we go with that push. They're at least going to take out the tier 2 tower.
They could probably tier 3 here. That's enough time. I mean, you have a Lycan. These buildings are gonna freaking explode. Okay, they want more.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Well, they're killing the tier 2 because he said they want more, though. Thompson to the backlines. Bubbles put down, but again, they can get in there. Soulblind in response, but Thompson just cannot tank through this damage. The Stone Gaze happens. He's out for 60 seconds with no buyback. Grimstar bought back immediately, but what is he going to do with these two others? I mean, Nyx is porting in. I don't know about that. Seb is counter-pushing at the bottom lane, so they will have to address it. Coddle is here already spamming out that Illuminate. Himself might not be enough of a threat, but Jerax, he ends up dying as he did finish that TP, and not too sure about that again. Either way, they are going to keep this going. So Seb is now TP'd back to base. Backdoor protection is up, but it's going to end in a second. And now that the tier 3 tower's gone, that's going to be Rax for sure. DK.
Yeah, it's looking like it.
He wants this. He wants a kill on Dazzle. Shallow Grave, he has a mech as well. He doesn't really need the Shallow Grave. He has the mech and keep him alive. But they're at least going to get the melee racks and now may back off because anti-mage is up. That's what they do. There's a lead for Gambit, though.
This game is actually crazy. Gambit are so impressive as a team. Like, the early game looked really sketch. Their Medusa was kind of getting owned in the lane. Thompson was doing good in his lane. And then they just make these really quick moves. You know, they send Lycan into team fights. They're able to kill Thompson. The setup with the DK getting the Blink Dagger into Will-O-Wisp for team fights. Like, everything on their team has a distinct purpose. And it's working so well for them. Like, this off-lane DK thing, obviously it was like a 1v1 against the Dazzle. So it wasn't like a true like 2v2 off-lane or whatever. But the functionality of the hero is so good. We're going to not see No Tail die there another time. But yeah, his initiation so far, and if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. It's a really tanky hero. You just can blink in with impunity, kind of like he is right now, and then you just get your kill, and if they go on you, you're a Dragon Knight.
He also just got his level 20 talent, I noticed, of the 2 times his Dragon Blood. So Jerax, yeah, trying to TP out right there, but again, caught out. No chance of survival at that point. You also see the 700 mana talent. Just picked up my Medusa, so if these targets weren't hard enough to kill already, just got that much more difficult. And pursuing at the bottom lane, LTW caught with the Dragon Tail stun. Hawk here as well, but he can't follow up the greatest, so going back to the catch. Cannot keep him locked down. Seb, however, maybe a different story. The Echo Stomp on top. He gets a Shallow Grave. Yeah, that's just going to once again delay things. Unstoppable streak for Afterlife. 6,000 net worth lead. Roshan should be up in about another couple of minutes, it looks like, as it could have spawned by now. So Gambit probably just going to wait for that, get that tier 2 Roshan, and we'll see what they can do from there.
It looks like LTW changed his mind, by the way. He was originally going Scotty, but I think now with the DK being such a nuisance for him, he's going back for the Lincolns. But the Lincolns is like, it's the same issue that I had with, we were talking about Thompson's itemization, is like you have to still be able to deal damage. But I guess in his mind, he wants to be able to play the side lanes more, try to delay the game longer. No Tail's gonna try to run away from this gang. Nope, not gonna work.
No Tail's, yeah, the Dragon Breath will finish him. Nyx Assassin at least able to make it out. The Will-O-Wisp unable to catch him, but the tower, backdoor, mirroring off here in a second, and they will easily kill it after the fact. So, yeah, Link is, well, hold on, because LTW is going in on immersion. He wants on a tight kill, but this is so much just to try to kill the ET. He really dies himself in the process, having to blink out. I guess just trying to stall this top tower push, but he is just going to cut the creep wave now and really prevent Gambit from going too deep into the base. As a result.
It's really important that immersion dies, though, for OG. Like, if he's alive during the team fight, and the AM is just standing next to the Elder Titan, you saw how quickly his life dropped, right? Like, immersion just pops BKB. He's really only getting hit by the Medusa and the Elder Titan at that point. He almost died in like 2 seconds flat. So because of that, that is like a priority target for OG. A lot of the time when you're playing cores, you want to focus other cores, you know, because they're the ones who are going to be dealing the most amount of damage. They have the highest net worth, so on and so forth. But for anti-mage, if the Elder Titan is alive, you take 1 billion damage.
At least. Nyx Assassin, he's taking plenty of damage. We said that plenty this game. He's 9 deaths, 0-9-4. And a stat line he's not too happy with, but it's just been that kind of game for him. Medusa has her own Lincolns finished, by the way, to go with the Butterfly and the Yasha and Kaya. on top of that. So Lincoln's on Medusa probably makes a bit more sense, specifically for that Mana Void.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Like again, Gambit's problem isn't damage at all. Like it's a complete opposite of what OG have. Look at that, like 4 auto attacks and a snake, and LCW has to blink away. Like this is the main anti-mage issue, and probably one of the reasons why Gambit are never scared of first phasing Medusa, because the obvious response for most people is going to be that anti-mage, but they've shown multiple times that they have heroes that they know are good against it, and they can just, you know, play into the AM, and so far it's been working for them.
Free Roshan. Give the... Who do they give the Aegis to? Are they going to give it to Medusa?
Yeah, I would assume so. Lycan's not really the best Aegis carry, and your other core is like a position 3, who's your initiator. He doesn't really need it. So yeah, they give the cheese to the DK, which is fine. He'll probably make more use of it, I think. LTW is going to get stunned here. Don't know if they have a follow-up, though.
There's the Dragon Tail hitting. Will-O-Wisp follow-up. Dragon Breath, but with the Manta Style, LTW just simply blinks away, and again, that follow-up, not enough to at least get the kill on LTW, but they force him back, force him away. OG, I mean, they have Arc Warden and Anti-Mage, 2 of the top heroes as far as the split push goes, so I'm sure we're going to start seeing them rely more and more on that idea. As top lane, Afterlife, he popped the Shapeshift, Nyx Assassin try to stop it, but Thompson is caught because of it. He's out for 75 seconds now. So much for any threat from him. FNH at the bottom lane. Go back onto him. He actually uses his cheese because he's being pressured. And now we're going to see more response from Gambit coming in too. LTW, he went forward. He wants to kill FNG. Pop the counterspell. They're kiting him so well, though. That Ghost Scepter on a Kotl. Keep him alive at the time being. Evasion's kicking in with a blinding light, but finally he goes down. But here's more of that response. LTW, Medusa shows up, and with Elder Titan nearby. You talked about it, man. He just melts if that ET's in the area.
A lot of people forgot about Elder Titan, man. That hero, in some matchups, it's so difficult because Anti-Mage never really liked being playing against physical damage anyway, right? He is an edgy hero, but his edgy gain isn't amazing, and he relies heavily on things like Butterfly and stuff to give him like the armor and evasion that he needs to be able to tank up. But against Elder Titan, man, he just don't care. He'll just staple you.
Top lane pushes on. Lycan's up here, of course, to Hawk. In those front lines, he's got the Aegis still. Why wouldn't he be? As Anti-Mage forcing a buyback on him. At least Arc Warden's going to be up in about 5 seconds. Wanting to use his Ink Swell up on Anti-Mage, but doesn't really blink in with it. A little too scared, understandably. Tier 3 tower falls, but now they're going back in. In fact, they catch him with the Shallow Grave. The Stone Gate's coming out as well. LTW barely survives thanks to the Shallow Grave, but he is out of the fight for the time being. The Tempest Devil doing what it can before going to be killed off, but the Rax falls on top of that. And again, once that Stone Gaze is up, there is no chance for OG to initiate. So now that it's down, they're going to try Soulblind on top of the double silence, but Alphanite's like, all right, now it's our turn once again. Seb, he gets done up with the Dragon Tail. Earth Splitter on top of that. Seb's melting. Another Shallow Grave, saving the day for the time being. Thompson doing what he can with damage, but you just see, he's just tickling. He's tickling the Radiant team right now, doing basically nothing. With a farmed Arc Warden, it's like he wasn't even attacking them right there. And they just all fall back.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Oh, Jerax is just in the back, gets spotted by a sentry. Unfortunate. I don't know. I don't know if there's really a way out for OG at this point. Like you mentioned earlier, the split push thing with the Arc Warden and the AM is probably the best bet, but it's still difficult because his DK is walking around with a Shadow Blade. He's got I think he also has a Halberd now. Let me double check just to make sure. Yeah, he does. So he has a way to break Lincolns, which means he can stop LTW's Lincolns blocking his initiation and stuff. So again, it's kind of that point where showing in the side lanes becomes increasingly difficult for the Anti-Mage, but it's also something that he has to do at the same time, and it's just been it's been a rough road here for the last like 20 minutes or so for OG.
They're hunting LTW. See them trying to cut him off. And he gets the blink up at the last second. He's farming these creeps, being extra greedy. Lincoln's is popped. There is the follow-up Dragon Tail stun. Anti-Mage forced off the Echo Stomp, barely connected. And are we just going to see him melt? Yes. He just goes down right after.
Yeah, sorry, I guess my stream's like 2 seconds ahead.
Yeah, slightly ahead, but just setting up another kill on Anti-Mage. And this time he has no buyback. He's out for 100 seconds.
Yeah, it could just be game, honestly. They have a tremendous amount of pushing potential. They have the Alpha Wolf on the Lycan, AC Vlad's as well. So we're talking about if he was going to get one, he does eventually. Pretty late into the progression, but honestly, it's fine. Like, Vlad's is good at like any stage to buy. It's really cheap. good cost efficiency and all that. But man, Gambit are just. A lot of time, people cast games like, yeah, this team is impressive. No, this team is impressive the way they're playing right now.
Yeah.
Their drafting, their ideas about the game, how they execute.
And
this team's no joke.
I go back to me, it just feels like they've really kind of figured out the pattern. They're one of the first teams to feel like they've done that. They've figured out the patch to an extent as far as 7.20, what heroes are really strong and what ways to adapt as far as the drafts go. We're rambling on, but No-Tail is just dead in the base. He buys back immediately. Obviously, Anti-Mage is still dead for 50. You look at the mid lane, though, Nyx Assassin, he's cutting the creep wave this whole time. He is going to end up dying for it, but JerAx at least accomplishing something out of it. And we'll delay
They got
things.
backdoor activated, though, and that's big. The
Yeah.
backdoor pretty much gives them enough time. There's not enough heroes here, I think, to cut through it. Okay, good God, it's like the entire zoo is coming down mid right now. It's just spooky.
Jesus, that's like, 3 lanes together combined. So Anti-Mage, 20 more seconds. Might be up by the time another fight happens, but DK jumps in. There's an Afterlife pop in the shapeshift, and Seb again with the shallow grave right at the last second. So this time, though, I don't think he's getting out of it. Thompson just using that Tempest double, and it's just Thompson at this point, although Seb will apply back on Dazzle, but Lycan's going right for the Tier 4 tower. Why want Mega Creeps when they could just probably finish the game right here, right now? Thompson gets stunned immediately as he came into the fight. Shallow Grave, saving the day again. MKB delivered to Medusa in the middle of the fight, or actually, I guess he just poured it in. The bots, and now with that MKB, well, they're going to kind of play a little bit safe as Gambit, but LTW back up, trying to find his target, which ideally would be Medusa. Immersion is running at Dazzle back there. Oh, was that a Lincoln's? The Lincoln's actually was used, I'm pretty sure, on Caudle to prevent the Mana Void right there. That's what just happened.
Yeah, the Hawks Lincolns, that was a clutch play. That guy, he would have died for sure. He had like no mana. Ends up dying anyway, but.
Yeah. So Caudle still goes down, but took him a little bit longer. LTW. Oh my God.
Look at that chunk, man. It's crazy.
That was one hit. Good God. Dazzle's dead. I mean, OG's just hanging on for dear life, but it really just feels like Gambit's going to break through right here at any second. Again, just cannot deal with the full force. LTW goes back in. Maybe this is an opening. He doesn't have a mana void, though, so best case burns the mana. Can't really make the most of it, though. He blinks away. DK is going to sit on top of him while the Tier 4s continue to fall. There's a second one going down, so now the Ancient is exposed. OG, they're down a man in Dazzle, but so is Gambit. With the Keeper of the Light, LTW jumps back in. Counterspell up, but that wears off. Can they get a stun on top of it? No, they cannot. The Lincoln's making sure to keep him alive, so he is very slippery on the Anti-Mage right now. OG doing enough to at least stay alive in the game.
That Lincoln saved his life so hard there. That Mystic Snake connects, he loses the rest of his mana, he wouldn't be able to blink away. So I guess a little bit of icing on a very otherwise dry cake here for OG. Lots of action going to go on here, bot.
Port coming in. JerAx opens. Thompson with the Tempest double. And that flux, but JerAx is the one that gets return fired on. As LTW hits the mana void. Not enough initially, but the Hawk will fall in the end. BKB committed by Dragon Knight. Trying to tank his ground against LTW and doing so quite decisively. Obviously plenty of life still left, but with Medusa out, their damage threat is a bit weaker. Afterlife, though, kind of changes that idea. Gets a kill on Thompson in the backlines. He is staying dead, by the way, for 75 seconds. LTW's done a good job so far of kind of being the slippery target that still can make some kills happen, but JerAx not so much. He ports back in and dies immediately after the buyback. So LTW blinking to the left. He knows that he can be caught by Afterlife in that shapeshift. That blink cooldown kicking in right here. But Afterlife's, you know what? Let's just go for the Ancient. Let's just finish this game, he says. There is no fortification. And now Anti-Mage has to fight this, of course. The Inkswell back in. They're going to jump. Not the most damage, but stalling on top of the Ancient. Now lays to Hawk, though. He's going for the Ancient, and that'll do it. Gambit finally claims game 2. OG holding on as long as they could, but it really wasn't going to be in the end. So Gambit, 2-0 lead here in this best-of-5 grand finals.
Really, really good stuff again from Gambit. The draft was solid. The beginning of the game looked a bit shaky. Their laning phase wasn't ideal, but as the game kind of stretched on, OG were the ones who actually felt like they had to be doing stuff. Like you're playing into this Medusa with a Lycan, with a Dragon Knight who's going like these initiation items, being a nuisance, the Elder Titan backing up the cores. Like their late game was just straight up better than what OG had. So you're playing like these two cores who want to farm, but at the same time, you still need to be able to apply pressure. And with an Anti-Mage and an Arc Ward, and pressuring the map is so difficult. So in a way, like Gambit's lineup being better late forces OG to play in a way that their lineup probably doesn't even want to in the first place, and that they just end up making them like kind of crack under the pressure that they have. It's just so difficult to play into those heroes.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, earlier was all about the Visage and you saw going into the series again. We saw a banned off the bat, understandably so, but it really is impressive just how Gambit is proven, if anything, like I said, that they're just not that one-trick pony team. They have plenty of other strategies that they go to, but they all have that similar theme of somewhat of a tricore to an extent, but also just this teamwork. And we keep talking about the draft so much, but no doubt you have to respect their gameplay as well and how they're executing said drafts within the game. And again, that teamwork that's involved, building the right items and coming together, and the synergy and fight. So this is OG we're talking about, of course, but it's hard to find a scenario in a world right now that they're going to be able to climb back. But you know what? They're still in it. That's what matters. They're down 2-0. It's just a matter of can they actually win 3 games in a row. Ultimately, it does start with one game at a time, though. So that game 3 will be coming up next here. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Draskyl. We have GoDz and BSJ returning as well after the short break. We'll be right back. 2-0 lead right now for Gambit. Best of 5 grand final. Stay tuned.